Okay. So I have to answer you first about the difference between concentration and mindfulness. Sometimes people ask me, what actually is the difference? It looks the same, no? Mindfulness, concentration. So I give example. I ask you what you're doing, jumping, running, flying. Actually the same question that I asked them before. To answer me that you are sitting, did you have to focus on your position, or you just know that you are sitting? To answer me that you are sitting, you have to close the eyes and to imagine your position, or you just know that you are sitting? Only know. To answer me that you are sitting, you have to feel very, very precisely how your body feels touching the ground, or you just know that you are sitting? Just know that you are sitting. Just know that you are sitting. This is mindfulness. See how simple it is? We call it first attention, let's say. You think I'm moving my hand, I know that I'm moving my hand. I'm touching the bag, I just know that I'm touching the bag. I'm raising up, I know that I'm raising and putting heel down. I know. You see how mindfulness, smoothly. No power, no effort. If you have to focus on your sitting, you see, focus, already concentration. If you need to imagine, if you need to feel very precisely, this is concentration. When you do turning, when you know that your hand moving, this is mindfulness. When you look at your hand, this is already concentration. When you speak, turning, you speak it. This is already part of concentration. When you feel your hand moving, this is already part of concentration. You see, actually you cannot run away from concentration. But what we are practicing is mindfulness. I know that I'm moving the hand. You see, all this part of concentration, you cannot run away. It's come by itself. Why I say we are practicing mindfulness and not concentration? Because it's not turning. I'm not fighting. If I fight with it, I'm already moving, touching. I die already. You see? This is focus. I'm not focusing on the movement. I just know my movement. And the concentration is developed by itself. You think if you practice like this very smoothly, very easy, turning, rising, touching. How many moments of concentration and mindfulness you're collecting already? The mindfulness and concentration automatically go up. It doesn't mean you have to fight with the movement and to create concentration, because why I'm not concentrating now? For sure you are not concentrating. That's why you have to practice. You see the difference? I give another example. When you do right goes that, you know that you move, right goes that. This is mindfulness. But it does not mean you have to look at your legs. It does not mean you have to feel the movement precisely, to go like a laser inside your leg goes down. Some people, they think if they want to concentrate, if they want to know, they have to close their eyes to imagine the legs moving. Mindfulness is just to know, now it's right goes down. Not mean I'm moving right goes down and I'm actually moving the left. This is not mindfulness. Now you understand better? And about these wheels that I gave you, I said this is what we call the wheels of Dhamma, or the symbol of Buddhism. Usually inside there is 8 lines. All. Because the Buddha said that if people want to be happy, they have to follow 8 lines, 8 fault paths, we call it. So if you want to improve your life, if difficulties and you want to make your life better, you have to follow 8 things. Now first you have to understand that you are suffering. If you don't understand that you are in difficulties or suffering, you don't do anything to improve your life. You have to understand that this suffering is not because of outside. You have anger not because someone makes beep beep beep, but because you have anger inside you. You have doubt not because there is many university or many kind of work, because you have doubt inside you. Some things, fear, worry, not because there is dark in the night, but because we have worry inside. We have to understand that the suffering actually because of us, not because of outside. Because the eyes and the mind is not clean. We have anger, worry, doubt, lazy, craving inside us. So as long as we have them, sometimes they come up, and then we see them, and then we are suffering. And the Buddha called it like a dust in the eyes. And then we have to understand that if we clean the dust, we stop the suffering. And how to do it on the eightfold path that I'm going to talk about. And to understand these four things that we are suffering because the eyes is clean, like we have dust in the eyes. If we clean, we stop suffering. And how to do it? This is the first line. He called it right wisdom. But it's not enough to make us happy. And other things we have to do, we have to develop good thinking in us, in ourselves. To think good about people, to think good about ourselves, not to think how to hurt other people, how to hurt ourselves. Another things we have to develop, the third things we have to develop, right speech, the way that we are talking. And say no good for you. If you tell lies, if you gossip, if you split between people, if you hurt people with speech, this is no good for you. Another things you have to do if you want to stop suffering or to be happy is to act right action, what you say. For example, if you are killing any animals, you will suffer because of this. If you're stealing, if you make bad sex, all these things will make you suffer. Another thing we say, your way that you are living, right, we call it right livelihood. The way that you get money, that you earn money. For example, if you use the way that you are earning money, you are killing creatures, or you stealing, or you tell lies, okay, or you make bad sex, okay, or you are selling maybe drugs, or make people drugs or alcohol. So all these things, hurting other people, it will hurt you also. And then we have what we call right effort. Right effort, it means effort to clean the bad things we have inside and to start to do good things. The effort we give not to hurt others and also to help to others. So this brings us again back the happiness. And then we have the seventh line, which is right mindfulness. It says what we can be mindful, if we want to know ourselves, what we can be mindful about. So we say one of the four things. First is my body. I can pay attention to my body. When I'm walking, I'm sitting, I'm standing, I'm laying down, any position of the body I can pay attention. Also the small position, touching, turning, moving, lowering, scratching, yawning, anything that I'm doing with my body I can be mindful. So one thing is the body. Besides this, we have also feelings. I'm happy, I'm disliking, I'm neutral. I can be mindful about any kind of my feelings. And then we have our mind, thinking, remembering, analyzing, planning. And then we have mind objects, anger, worry, doubt, lazy, craving. And for sure we have six sense doors, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, and thinking. So we have four foundations of mindfulness. Body, feeling, mind object. You want to repeat together with me? Everybody. Body.
Körper. Gefühl. Geist. Geistobjekte.
One more time together.
Körper. Gefühle. Geist. Geistobjekte.
One more time.
Körper. Gefühle. Geist und Geistobjekte.
Now only you. One more time. The last time. Wonderful. Very nice. So this is we call right mindfulness. And then we have right concentration, which means to develop eye concentration, but not focusing on something like focus candles or mantra or something. You say you develop the strong concentration, but on something that happened to you. For example, turning, this is one moment of concentration. Now coming another one, turning. Oh, another moment of concentration. Oh, another one, turning. Oh, another one, rising. Another one, rising. Oh, you see how many I collect in one mindful postposition. In Pali we call it kanika. Kanika is in moment by moment by moment, momentary. This is different from concentrations that you are, it's called apanya, or in Pali, when you send your mind to one object or something. Then this is the eightfold path. It means right wisdom, right thinking, right, you will remember?
No.
Okay. So starting right with right thinking, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This is the basic things for the Vipassana. Any questions?
I didn't get the difference between feeling and mind object.
You're right, because many people they don't know to differentiate. When you feel anger, you are happy or you dislike it? It means you have some kind of, let's say, inside the anger, you have some kind of, how to call it, spices, which is, I don't like, but it's doing to me. When you're afraid, ooh, do you happy? You have this kind of spices which say, I don't want this situation to be. Is anger and fear, it's the same things inside us, or it's two different things? Two different things, huh? But the feeling is the same feeling. When you eat nice cake, delicious, you like it, huh? Totally different from anger and worry. I can say that the anger and worry, they have the same feeling, but greed, okay, this is different feeling. I have success in the class, I make 100%, I'm so happy. Same feeling like I eat the good cake, huh? This is happy feeling. This is the feeling. You have anger, you have worry, you have doubt, you have lazy, you have craving. Everyone like this is different things, but the spices can, in some of them, they can be the same. You have three kinds. One, I don't want it to be like this. Disliking. I like it. I want it to continue. Happy. Okay? And sometimes you have also neutral. Okay? Please, anyone?
I was wondering today when we were 10 minutes meditating, and the more you have to say, I'm hearing, then you're quietly thinking of your body moving well, the breathing and everything. So is it wrong to ignore what is being heard? Just carry on with your meditation.
So what we are practicing mindfulness, to know what happened to us. Okay? To practice, we are using some kind of, let's say, main object of practice, which is in the walking, right goes thus, left goes thus. Sitting is just the breathing. We can use anything in the life. If I'm a child in the school and I'm listening to my teacher, so hearing will be the main object. My teacher will be the main object, not the stomach and not the walking. When I'm driving, so the driving will be the main object, okay? Just now we are using the walking and the rising, falling, because we are not driving, but the important is not the course or the practice of walking and sitting. The important is your life. So you ask me, I'm sitting and I'm breathing, and suddenly I'm hearing something. Maybe it's better to ignore what I'm hearing. So in the same way I ask you, suppose you talk with your friends, okay? You are sitting and you have very important conversation about any food or about anything that is important for you with your friend, okay? So this is the main object. You have to listen to your friend, okay? And suddenly the baby starts to cry. So in your case, I ask you, what is the best to do? Is just to ignore the baby and to continue to concentrate with my friend? Or should I pay attention, hearing? Maybe it's just spoiling, nothing to do with them. Let them cry, but maybe set it down. You see, when you will be mindful, you know exactly how to act. Another example, I'm driving My main object is the driving. I see the driving, I know. But suddenly someone making beep, beep, beep. In the case, I ask you, what is the right things, to ignore it or to pay attention? Maybe you want to show me there is police or there is problem there. Pay attention, hearing. And then I decide to come back to the main object or just to know how to do. So then the wisdom is coming. If we use the mindfulness, we have the wisdom how to manage our life in the best way. Usually we want to run away, we don't want to do. The Buddha says you cannot run away from problems. You have to deal with the problem. To open your eyes and to learn how to overcome. Answer to your question?
Yes, yes.
Please.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. Yeah, please.
You brought the example about the fridge, and to move it from one room to another room.
Yeah.
So, but that is not possible. That is too difficult exercise in the beginning. But if I read about introduction Vipassana course, it's 10 days, 16 hours practicing per day. This feels for me like a fridge.
No, we have to go slowly. We must go slowly. Give people only 10 minutes walking, 10 minutes sitting. If they don't do this, even 5 times. You break between the practice. If sometimes they are too much ambitious, I tell no, don't be ambitious. Even sleeping, it's enough 6 hours night. People sleep 10 o'clock, wake up 4 o'clock, no problem. No. We go slowly.
That's not slowly.
Huh?
It's too much to get up at 4 o'clock.
No. You sleep. Napoleon, he win the war with 4 hours sleeping. We don't go into laziness. We go middle way. Not too lazy, not too tired. And if you talk about sleeping, sometimes if you really miss the sleeping or whatever, you can fall asleep during sitting meditation. We call it a recharge your battery. Usually people in the course, they don't need to sleep much. You are learning to be happy in yourself. You don't need socializing. It happens by itself. Usually we want to sleep lazy, with boredom, or whatever. So all these things by Vipassana we are learning to overcome them by mindfulness.